So, um, on the cowboy moment, respect and, stand up for yourself in conversations. First of all, found my Ghoul Town shirt. My favorite two songs I would say are Drink with the Living Dead and Killer in Texas. Undead Wild West shit is pretty cool. So I look at cowboys and like the Wild West type dudes, kind of like the grandfathers of American like street fighting and stuff like that, which is kind of inherited, I suppose, by like bikers and stuff like that. There's a lot we can go into about saloon stuff, so let's not worry about it. So, what is the cowboy moment? Why do I call it that? Well, I call it that because even though I believe in de-escalation, and I'm like any self-defense guy, I'm always talking about that. Let's not, add to fights or whatever, or add to, you know what I mean? But you deserve respect, though. You do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to be out here letting people shit on you or whatever. It's just we can't create fights, right? No. So, if you notice in those cowboy films, what will happen is some guy at some point will verbally, upset Clint Eastwood or, Sam Elliott or, whoever, right? Fucking Tombstone shit, right? Doc Holliday. So if this happens, what will they'll look at the guy a little bit, right? And now things are different for a moment. It is literally 1 second. It pretty much just says to the dude, okay, I ain't no bitch. And, if this continues, we're going to have problems. Now, this does not work if you are not violently capable. Okay. So kind of like with countries and how they deal with politics, I kind of look at it like we're countries, right? And your arms, you know what I mean? Your hands, your feet, whatever weapons you have, that's your military. Okay. If you have no military, what is there for you what the hell are you doing? This is why I get mad at the male Karens or whatever when they walk into an establishment. Once again, the highbrow establishment, I actually do have to kind of serve a male Karen here and there. What am I supposed to do in like that really glitzy place, like the Ritz-Carlton of strip clubs in my area? Of course. But when I'm working at the other place where, it is kind of like a saloon, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got girls and stuff like that, but it was originally a biker strip club only at first. It was literally only for them back in the old days. And slowly things change, but they're still there, and there's always harsh people who come in. Dangerous, man. So, yeah, in that establishment, that's why I get mad about the Karens. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that when somebody is verbally trying to put you down or something like that, they are purposefully, at least for the moment, they're avoiding coming at you in a more direct way. Okay. And this can happen in any way, bro. Dating girls can get frustrated because once you get into their world or you guys are out in some functions or whatever, you're going to come across guys. And especially, once again, these videos are for people currently training. You want to be a martial artist. You want to be an MMA guy. You want to be, one of those self-defense dudes who, in the middle of a conversation could just nail someone with a chin jab, lead that into an elbow. I get it. I know what you're trying to do here. And I support it. So once you are in that situation, you're going to feel it. You're going to be confused because some guy is going to find some way in the conversation, especially amongst other people, are watching this conversation, right? They're going to see whatever. There's, this is a group thing. It's social. They're going to try to put you down in some way. Who knows how they're going to do it? They might say something about your job or whatever. But dude, some weird shit happens when you take away the danger of, interacting just with guys, and you put in place of that danger some social construct, and you have women around. Guys really think that they can avoid coming at you in a confrontational way and still put you down and make you look like shit in front of people. And dude, don't be, I'll get more into it, but when I got out of military school, I kind of overcorrected in my behavior because, I'm 18 years old, and if you get into a fight, you get some serious shit for it. It's not like when you're 16, you guys are just beating the fuck out of each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, So, because of that, and also I like the fact that I didn't have to get into as many fights. I didn't have to prove shit because I wasn't in some fucking, Fisher Price prison, prison for kids. Anyways, fucking, my my girl or whatever, sometimes, yeah, they'd be like, yo, you let that guy talk to you like that or whatever. And I just saw it as, well, I mean, I can't be starting fights. I can't be starting shit. And it's true. You can't, right? Not if we're violent, dangerous men, right? And more to come with that. So, well, what happened is you start getting frustrated and annoyed by these punk ass dudes that you find in these weird social situations who try to, insert however it is. Also, this could be guys who are mainly verbal guys. You know what I mean? They're quick-witted, funny dudes who, for whatever reason, still want man points. You know what I'm saying? Look, dude, if you're funny as shit, people already love you. Why would you even, yeah, if you train and you're funny, hey, man, that's awesome. You're probably someone I really want to hang out with, actually. But I don't respect guys who are good at kind of this realm of socializing and having fun, who think that all of a sudden they can just step into the realm of male intimidation and putting men down and that type of thing. Like, dude, you don't have any weapons. Like, you don't know how to fight. You make your, social clout based on how funny you are and quick-witted you are. And that's cool, bro. But don't you dare look a man of violence in his face and try to put him down and talk shit to him because you feel safe in that way of coming at him, right? Because you know that you're not going to fight, right? I've known a lot of guys like that. A lot of guys, just funny guys who don't want to start fights, but still want to talk shit, and they find little ways to do it. So, only the chicks really will understand that you're being, that you're being shit talked. You may not even really get it at first. But anyways, I digress. So what you do is you flash that cowboy moment. What I mean is you look this fucking idiot in his eyes, deep in his eyes. It doesn't have to be an angry stare. It really depends on the situation. Like, you have very different ways of eye contact, and that's more advanced, and you get to it as you get more experience, right? But you look him in his eyes, and then say whatever it is that you're going to say, and it can be positive. Here's why. If some dude tries to, like, I don't know, maybe put me down or for, maybe I said something, like I was commenting on something that we were all talking about, and he tries to make me sound like a fucking idiot or whatever, I'll stare deeply, deathly into him. And then I'll, say kind of some normal shit after that. I don't know, whatever it is that I felt like talking about. See, now he has a decision. See, everyone saw that too. So now he has a decision. Either A, he, changes up his kind of shit, and the good guys, what they'll do is they'll say something positive to you after that. It's like a video game, you know what I'm saying? So, then, it'd become more positive. The positive verbal choice or whatever in the conversation in a video game. But then, you have guys who will try to be like, oh, well, fuck you, right? Like, they're like, oh, this guy thinks he can just, So once again, you're not starting a fight. But what's happening is that somebody who had fight type feelings towards you, now those have to be dragged out. Because if they're going to call you on the eye contact that you made, the little small amount of you trying to have respect for yourself and stand up for yourself, well then, they deserve to get their asses kicked if they're going to escalate that. Because they're the ones who disrespected you, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you have the third, which would be they don't respond to it at all, okay? Because they're a bitch and they're really, really, really trying to keep messing with you without it getting physical, right? But you see, everybody saw that. So what happens now is that if they do, after you stared into their soul and they didn't do nothing about it, if they continue to talk shit in a way or to keep coming at you in this way that you're not accepting, you don't like, well then laugh at them. Anytime they say something, just kind of laugh. Just like, really? Oh, okay. Like, everything's a joke to you now. They are a joke to you. See? Now, they either have to, fight you, right? Or, which they're starting that fight. So, once again, whoop their ass. Or, they have to just accept now that they fucked up. That, you know what I'm saying? That now they look like a bitch in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's this is what they deserve. Because you see, I explain this to you because you still need that one bit of respect. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You don't I would never advocate for, being an asshole or arrogant or in your face. I told you, I'm not, I'm like any self-defense guy. I want you to not be getting into fights and all that. However, if you don't do something in these moments, they will haunt you. Trust me. Trust me, please. Being a bouncer, I had to learn that shit the hard way, where there would be moments where, I thought, oh, let me not, escalate. And then a guy came and said a bunch of shit to me, and I didn't really hold any ground on it. And I thought about it for months. I want to find this dude. Dude, it twists you up, okay? Yes, avoid fights. But you deserve at least that small bit of respect. And if somebody is willing to aggress you and fight you over you just kind of holding yourself in a conversation, especially if you're young, this might be the Donnybrook you need. You know what I mean? This might be one of those fights that you need in your life. Okay. Once again, I don't advocate for fighting. Now, keep in mind, there's moments where this can go well or it can be called. Okay. This is why you have to be a real man of violence. Don't just be doing this shit. First of all, I don't even advocate mad dogging. But if you do find yourself in the situation I just said, where it's a type of social setting or whatever, and some guy's trying to put you down and make you look like the bitch in front of everybody, then yes, use this, but just know that they may call it, and then, you have to have things to back it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you 2 examples. First one is when it went well, okay? I was at the door, and a guy showed up with a few people, and he wanted to seem cool in front of them or whatever, and they were smoking, and I was like, hey, can you move from the red carpet? Because, that carpet is too close to the door, and there's too much going on. I have to be able to ID people and all these things. That's where I'm coming from. And he's like, man, fuck this red carpet, man. Cintas brought that shit in, man. Fuck this. You're not going to fucking fool me. And he's letting it look good for his people. And that's why I looked him dead in his eyes. And I was like, oh, tonight's going to be fucking fun, isn't it? And that's when he just stops. And he's like, hey, man, it's just a joke. I mean, right? Like, doesn't Cintas bring that shit? And here's the thing. I don't look for problems. So I admitted Cintas does bring that. And we laughed. And this guy was great. He would come out and smoke and stuff. We had fun. We did. Okay. So that's where it works how it should be. Now, second, when it was called, but not to violence, thankfully. So I went up to a Serbian guy. Okay. He was a little bit older than me, maybe a couple years or 2. I didn't know at that moment, but over time, as we, talked and stuff, realized that he's, either part of Serbian mob or some type of mafia outfit. So I come up to this guy, and I'm a little, bigger, much more muscular and stuff than him, but I could tell definitely that he's about violence. So I came up to him because he was like touching, girls and shit on the stage. I was like, dude, you can't be doing this. And he had enough to drink that he wasn't thinking like most of these operating, shady dudes do, which is they're usually working or they're meeting someone there. There's stuff going on, but those guys don't sleep. They work, man. So fucking, he had enough to drink that he was willing to fuck around, as opposed to just, waiting for his guy showed up and they had stuff to do. But anyways, so he turns to me and he's essentially, he says like, first of all, he's like, I was not touching them, but you think you just come up to me and, and men and just tell us what to do like this? Like, this is your job? It's ridiculous. He kind of was like shitting on me. And that's where I just looked him in his eye. And I was like, look, sir, if you touch a girl again, you're out. You're leaving. And here's the thing. I usually create a long mental gap for them between when they're misbehaving and they're being thrown out. Because I don't like to escalate shit, okay? Usually, I would say, yeah, man, just trying to do that because it looks like you touching girls. I know you don't want to be touching girls and getting in trouble, man. Like, it sucks to be kicked out and shit. Like, I usually go that route. I'm a nice dude. But the way that he came at me was like, I was just some like bitch ass dude running around here. So I, let it be known that I'm actually very willing, because this is going to be a fight. If we're just pulling this dude out, right, it's going to be a fight. And I was one of the only ones approaching him, and I kept it that way. Notice I didn't go give other bouncers none of this, because this is about men. So he kind of looked at that I was willing to go right now. He kind of laughed, and he put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, you are strong, man. Okay, I know. but no man is that strong. You watch, you know, who you interact with, my friend, you know. And that's when I said to him, yeah, man, you know, like, he's saying these things. And he also says, of course, he doesn't want trouble with the establishment. And I use that as an in to be like, yo, man, I don't want any injuries either, dude. I'm working. I have to come here every day, man. I don't want to get into nothing, man. And that's when he says, oh, yeah. And he sees my arm. There's like a knife wound and stuff like that. And he's like, ah. And so he just dude, over the night, he just bonds with me until his friend arrives, showing me all his bullet wounds and where he got stabbed. And, I don't understand the tattoos as well. So I can't tell you what he really was involved in. And actually, it's not my business, dude. You think, why should I be out here, putting these dudes' business out there? This is about lessons and self-defense and standing up for yourself. So, yeah, we ended up bonding. We had a really good time, But part of that was me understanding, and realizing, that this shit, has a price. Okay? So, yeah, don't be out there just, mean mugging people or being a fucking dick. But, if someone, comes at you any type of way, at least flash them that look real quick. And you can say positive things after that. You can just be as nice as you want, but you stare deep into them first. And if you aren't comfortable with eye contact, remember, it ain't about them, okay? Anything could be happening with them, whatever. It's not about a connection between you and them, because that is more of a sexual thing. No, when you do eye contact and for like respect or like violence or whatever, hollow yourself out, be empty, and ignore that you're even looking at them. Just look deep into them and try to see if you can go past. Okay, it doesn't matter, because if they move, you guys are gonna fight. Dude, I could do it all day, not because I'm the baddest dude, you know what I'm saying, but I had some help, from military training. And dude, just test it out. Like look in the mirror and just stare for as long as you can. Start to get comfortable with that. Will start to happen is you'll not zone out, but you'll be in this weird still state, very still, kind of like an animal, like how animals just, you get the hang of that. And then you just, when you have to, you flash that. You know what I'm saying? Once again, not advocating you guys to get into fights. Holy shit, this is probably the longest video I've ever done. But, it's important, because if you guys don't stand up for yourselves in conversations and stuff like that, it is going to rot you from the inside, my friend.